we're not almost there.
Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build massive traps. I'm going to give you all the information you need. I'm going to give you some of the workouts and strategies I've put together over the years. Before I get into that topic, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. The best topic ideas I turn into videos just like this. All right. So what we're going to focus on is what you need to focus on to build big traps. We're going to look at tension. We're going to look at brutality. We're going to look at building your overhead strength. And then we're going to go into ways to add extra tension. And then we have a bunch of different workouts and strategies. So it's going to be a pretty in-depth video. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, just drop them down in the comment section. Now, let's dive into things. Building big traps. Number one, you want to focus on overall tension. This is a very important point and something you need to understand about trap building. Trap building is a game of finding ways to add tension. Why is this? Why are building traps a little bit different from building other muscle groups? Well, traps, when you're performing a traps set or a trap rep, it has a more limited range of motion than, say, doing a bench press or a curl. With a bench press or curl, you're pushing it through a noteworthy or a substantial plane or range of motion. With a trap, you're moving your shoulders or shrugging about an inch. So traps have a limited range of motion. Therefore, adding time under stress is important. Let's say you do 10 reps on the bench press, whatever it takes you, 30 or 40 seconds, whatever a set takes you. Now you look at doing 10 reps on a set of shrugs, and you can knock that out in no time at all because of the limited range of motion. So adding more time under stress as far as, time under the bar is important. Now you can add tension through adding more reps. You can add tension through static holds, and we're going to get into that a little bit more, but just know there's different ways you can add more tension to place more tension or more stress on your traps. Now, in training your traps, you want to focus on brutality. So we got the cornerstone, which is focusing on adding tension. Now we're going to focus on adding brutality. The traps are a strong muscle group. We need to understand that. They are able to handle a lot of punishment. Whoops, my dog just tried to jump up on my leg. The traps can take a lot of punishment, okay? So they're a strong muscle group. Mind muscle shrugs are okay, but you must add brutality to the mix. And what this means is it's okay if you do your mind muscle shrugs. If you want to do those, go ahead. But you also need to add brutality to the mix. And what is brutality? Brutality is heavy weight, power moves like power shrugs, and heavy holds like heavy static holds. These are the staples that I use to build big traps. Heavy ass weight, a lot of power shrug movements, and a lot of heavy static holds. Now, in addition to this, you need to focus on building your overhead press strength. Your traps are involved in your overhead pressing, and if you have weak overhead pressing, it's not going to help. Building your overhead strength will help when it comes to building your traps. So you want to crush your overhead pressing. You want to get strong on your overhead pressing, and you want to do both on a weekly basis, a barbell and dumbbell variation. All right, now here are some simple ways to add tension. Number one, during a set of your RDLs or barbell rows or deadlifts, when you're done, you could add a static hold at the end. This is something I would do randomly during my training. Like on deadlifts, I wouldn't do it necessarily at the end of every set, but a lot of times on deadlifts, I would do it at the end of my last set. Kind of the same thing with RDLs. At the end of the last set, I would do a static hold. And basically, when the set was done, I would just hold the weight as long as I could until I couldn't hold it anymore. Barbell rows, you could do this as well. Just use your best judgment on when you do these static holds. In addition, you can just do static holds as a standalone practice as well. Now, you could also add a max rep set of power shrugs at the end of an RDL, barbell row, or deadlift set. This is something I would do over the years as well. In addition to my normal shrugs or trap training, I would throw this in when I felt like it. So maybe on the last set of deadlifts when I'm done, before I set the bar down, I would do a max rep set of power shrugs. And then sometimes, bullet point number 3 here, I would do both. I would do a max rep set of power shrugs, and then I would do a static hold after that to really add some good tension. Now, the deadlift is going to add some tension and stress to the traps as well, and so will the RDL. But these are some good ways to do both, or to add both, to add some static holds and some tension through power shrugs. Now, you could try another simple way to add tension is to add twice a week trap training. The best way to do this is on a day when you're really back focused or delt shoulder focused, on a day when you're doing overhead presses, on a day when you're doing deadlifts, on a day when you're doing even RDLs, you can toss this in. So loading up another barbell sometimes is a real pain in the ass. Just as you get stronger, loading up more and more barbells can really suck your time. So what I tend to like to do is when I already have a barbell loaded, like on deadlifts or RDLs or barbell rows, I like to throw in my trap training immediately after these exercises, because I don't have to load another barbell. I can just go to work on my shrugs right after these big movements are done. Now, there are some variations to try. You can mess around with dumbbells, depending on how heavy the dumbbells are in your gym. You can obviously do the barbell shrugs, and one variation that's not talked about a lot is behind the neck or behind the back. I put behind the neck here. Sorry, behind the back shrugs. You can do these even with a Smith machine if you want to get fancy and creative. All right. So let's dive into some workouts. These are workouts I put together over the years. Some of these are 13 years old. This is a sample 2-day trap workout, and there's many ways to do these types of workouts. You can use these tools as an example, and these aren't the only things you would do on a deadlift day and a shoulder day. But in this example, you have your high rack pulls. So we're doing kind of high rack pulls and power shrug combinations. A high rack pull would be below the knees. We're not talking about above the knees. What I would often do I would do high pulls, high rack pulls, again below the knees, and I would do a power shrug combination. So on set for each set, I would do my rack pulls, and then I would do power shrugs at the end. Or you can do a rack pull and then a power shrug and set it down. In addition, you can add power cleans to the mix, which is a good trap building exercise or contributes to trap size. Now we have peak contraction dumbbell shrugs. What are these? We got 3 sets of 15 in this example. Basically, with a dumbbell shrug, you do your shrug and then you hold for just like a second. You do your shrug and then you hold for just a second. So you hold at that level, at that peak contraction. And then we have something in workout 1, which is something you've probably never heard of before, but it is an overhead barbell shoulder shrug. And if you search overhead shrugs on YouTube, you're going to find these. Basically, you load up a barbell overhead and you shrug it up. Kind of a unique and interesting exercise. You can basically I would do a lighter weight and get the feel for this. Here, this is something I put together a long time ago. I put together 30 to 50 rest pause reps. If you get tired, you can bring the bar back down to your chest. You might be able to knock out 15 of these, bring the bar to your chest. When you feel like you've regained your sanity, toss it back overhead and finish your overhead barbell shrug. So workout, these are all just examples. Workout number 2, we have upright rows, which is a good exercise for your traps. And this is kind of in addition on your shoulder day to your overhead pressing work. We have dumbbell shrugs. And here we have 4 sets of AMRAP over 60 seconds. So these are rest pause. So you basically are doing block sets here of 60 seconds, and you're going to knock out as many shrug reps as you can. When you can't do anymore, you're just going to do a static hold for 3, 5, even 10 seconds until you're ready to do some more shrugs. Finally, we add to that static barbell holds, which is just basically, you want to use straps for these. You want to use VersaGrips or straps. We're not trying to test our grip here. We're trying to test our, we're trying to work our traps. So unrack and just hold in the static hold position for as long as you can. So these, again, are just ideas for you to try. This is something called the Monster Traps workout that I put together a long time ago. And basically, you do 2 sets of 40 reps. This is rest pause. So again, you're using straps or VersaGrips, and you just try to get to 40 total reps, resting as needed and as long as you need to, but never setting the barbell down. And dumbbell shrug and hold. This is basically the same thing we just did. Grab your dumbbells, strap up, do a rep, hold, do a rep, hold, and you can make those holds as long as you want. Now, power shrug how. This is something I've done a lot over the years, and this is something that a lot of people have tried, and it's a really simple way to work your traps. Basically, what I would do is I would put a plate on the bar, and I would do 10 reps. Then I would load up another plate and then go do 10 reps. So basically, by the time you set your 135 down, go over, load up the new plates, then you get back, you strap up, and you get back at it. So it isn't rest pause per se. You just don't screw around and add any rest. You do 135 by 10. This is a sample of what I would do: 135 by 10, 225 by 10, 315 by 10, 405 by 10, and then 495. And the 7 here just basically is showing that when you can't do 10 reps, that's kind of when you stop your power shrug. Hell, you can move up. You don't have to move up in 45-pound plates. You can move up in 25s and then 45. So you can do 135, 185, 225, 275, 315. And when you can't do 10 reps, you could start to back down if you want extra stress. So I'm going to skip to the one at the bottom, the Shrug 5+5s. What this is something I give to a lot of my clients. Basically, you're going to set a 60 to 120 second block of time, okay? And you're going to do, it says 5s, but you can do 3 to 5 shrug reps, and then you hold for 3 to 5 seconds. And then you do 3 to 5 shrug reps, and then you hold, not at peak contraction, but you just do a static hold for 3 to 5 seconds. And you repeat this cycle until you get to your 60 or 120 second goal. Now, power shrug 50s, you can start with 135, 185, 225 pounds. It doesn't really matter. You're just going to try to get to 50 total reps. And I do have a video here. Let me see if I can load that up. So you can tell these are power shrugs. These aren't mind muscle shrugs. You're going to knock out as many reps as you can. You're just going to try to get to 50. Here I got 315 pounds. I'm just knocking out power shrug reps, getting that, using some heavy ass weight and some good tension. And I'm going to take a breather here just for a moment, catch my sanity. When I feel physically and mentally ready to go again, I'm going to continue. So basically, you're just going to grind away until you get to 50 total reps. So That's about it, guys. I hope this video has helped a little bit. If you have any questions about any of this information, feel free to drop it down below. And let me just go back and recap some things here. When it comes to building your traps, you want to obviously focus on having a deadlift in the mix. A deadlift variation doesn't matter if it's a hex bar, regular conventional deadlift. That'll bring some tension to your some heavy ass weight, some brutality, and some tension on your traps. You want to focus on your overhead press strength, and you want to focus on getting an extra tension however you can and challenging your traps with some heavy ass weight. So, guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. If you made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So, guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.